that, that they don't have to get their wisdom tooth or all that stuff. So, and setting your intentions. At the very least, wake up with, a smile on your face and set your intention. Before you get on your phone, before you look at other people's drama, you set your stage. Set your stage. So incorporating structured water, again, daily hydration, cooking in you can do that. You can garden in water with structured water. I have a green room that has, I actually produced a plant speaker that it just plays specific tones for plants that help with their rooting, or specific tones for stemming. We have 9 pairs of stem cells in our body. Stem cells stem with sound, just like birds they whistle, they cause stemming in plants. Whistles, stems are stem cells. We have 9 pairs in our body, okay? So, again, gardening and plants, you can water your plants with structured water and metals and all that stuff. So, the power of intention. We got focus, intent, and you can see this change. You can sometimes taste the change. Mindful presence. You're a body of water. You're the body of water that you need to bless, because no one else is doing it. Everyone else is actually probably harming, with some, not intentionally, but if someone comes up to you to vent their story, they feel better, they've released it, but now you've got their dirty energy. You need to clear that. And resonating with the frequencies of nature. So hug the tree with both hands, copper and zinc. You're positive and negative. If you can take off your socks and shoes and stand on dirt while you're hugging the tree, that's even better, because now you've got a full circuit. Sunlight. So I've been sun gazing for probably 8 years. Now I have brown eyes, so I can look directly at the sun. And I do it, not at noon, but I can do it till 10 a.m. And that's because our eyeballs eat light, and that's the first, receptor of light to determine, are we doing serotonin? Are we doing melatonin? Is she awake? How old is she? All of that stuff, our circadian rhythm, our eyeballs and light. So water is more than just a basic necessity. It's a tool. It's a powerful tool for healing. We just need to, understand how to unlock it. We already know. We just need to practice it. So exploring the quantum world. Oh, I thought I was done. Vibrational frequencies are the language of the quantum realm. Everything in the universe vibrates, and these frequencies are forms of energy. So we have so they were able to take the vibration of minerals, of colors, of body parts, and of ailments and blockages. So we're bridging ancient traditions. This is the sound of bells, the organs, the churches, and the cathedrals. When you go in a cathedral, it's domed. The organs are built right into the wall. And then you've got all the light, the colored windows, the stained glass window. So now you're standing in a vibration. It's a giant med bed. A cathedral is vibrating. I already got goosebumps. You got intention. You go in there, you're like, I'm going to heal. You already believe it. You think that it's maybe God, but it's actually you in that space. So you go in there with that intention. You got the vibrations. You got the light therapy. You're believing it. You're going to get better. So healing does happen in cathedrals and churches because of that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking all this, stuff that all the smart people that already passed school, they learned all this, and I'm just integrating it with how to make it easier. I have a 93-year-old grandma. She's not going to go on frequency. She's not going to get a Rife machine. So I've made speakers. She turns it on, presses a button for arthritis, boom, and presses a button for lungs, presses a button for hair. It's just super easy. So I have the online database, but I ended up making little speakers for people that didn't want to log on, like either really old people or I guess babies, children, or whoever people actually use it for, gifting and non-Wi-Fi. So cultivating a harmonious relationship, mindful consumption. Do not drink water around negative people. Don't drink water. Don't be around negative people. It's going to affect you. Do your best to be the change of positivity, because it's kind of hard to be like, hey, don't be mean, but you can just be nice, and eventually it does rub off on them. A gratitude for water or a gratitude for everything. saying thank you for everything, because everything comes right back to you. And a respect for nature, water sources, minimize environmental waste, hugging the trees, and grounding. You've got to stand on dirt. You've got to stand on, like, the word sneakers is sneaky. When they gave sneakers to us, that's when arthritis started. That's when inflammation started. Yeah, the rubber soles, it blocks us from our grounding. So when they did that, that's when that's all those diseases started. So elevating consciousness, you can do brainwave entrainment, meditation. For spiritual, there's people that do astral projection, dream work, levitating, I don't know, all this other stuff that you can do, okay? Because everything is frequency. And harmonizing with the universe, you do feel like you're one with it, because you are in that state of just being that drop and the ocean at the same time. I think you kind of realize that, especially when you start controlling it. So you can have improved health, elevated consciousness, sustainable well-being. It just all sounds really good. Embracing the future. We can see all outside, there's a lot of tools. There's a lot of things that you can do. Light, all this fancy stuff, the vibration plate, really good, but you know what's even better? A rebounder, because your body doesn't know when to expect the next jump. So when you rebound for 5 minutes, just jumping on a trampoline, you're eliminating that garbage that your lymphatic system cleaned, but then it's like keeping it in little spots, but you have to now get rid of it. So intestines, making sure everything is out. But this is just saying that, this is the future. It's not the future. This isn't the present. I've been doing this for 5 years. People keep saying the future is medicine or frequency medicine. This is actually already happening. We're reliving the past. We are recreating past technologies. So conclusion, water is good. Unlock the frequencies of wellness. Learn about your body, how it processes. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And all of this stuff is, you don't need any fancy tools, but I do have a fancy tool. Everyone does get a 30-day free trial. And some people don't need more than that. Again, you do not heal forever. You don't go to a doctor forever. Okay, you go to get fixed, and then you're done. So this is about changing your structure so that you can go do your thing. And we're giving those away. We're giving the little cards. You may have seen the little blue cards. So that's it.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Yes.
If you're programming a glass of water, but you want to add, say you drink all of it, but this much. If you add a gallon to that, what happens there?
Oh my gosh, I love that question. That's something I'm researching right now. Okay, with copper water. So for copper water to become copper, it's not actually getting little copper parts into the water, right? It's getting the properties of copper into the water. The properties of copper. So you can take water out of copper and just have it in the vicinity and still become copper water. So to your question, what I've done is I take copper water, okay, and then I pour the copper water into a regular glass of water and mix it with regular water. Do you think that's regular water or do you think that's copper water?
Copper water.
Why? Because structured water automatically structures any waters it touches unless it hits an angle. So that's why the plumbing is the angle. So swirls, everything in nature is spiral swirls. And I'm gonna show you, I actually invented a drinking glass with a swirl. It goes through shungite and it swirls and then it goes into a love and gratitude jar. Because everything is swirl. But here's the thing, take your glass and of course I want you to buy my stuff, but take your glass and swirl it. Say nice things, and then guess what? Go like this and swirl it again. The more you do that, you're actually restructuring. And if you go one way and go the other way, the opposing vortex, you're structuring the water. That's all you need to do. Another thing I do, which people think is weird, I gargle my water. Your saliva is structured. right? So structured water structures any water that it touches. So now I drink water, whatever water I drink, I gargle it 10 seconds. I'm not sure why. I just think that's it. And then swallow it or spit it out into a plant that needs some nutrition, because now you're taking all of your nutrition into the plant. So there's just a lot of, like I said, and you can also take the seeds of a plant, put it in your water, and then when you get the fruits of that, it provides what you need. So there's really, again, it's all these different ways to utilize the power of water. But so for your question, the structured water changes bulk water unless it hits an angle.
How much?
How do you hit an angle?
Up to 1,000 feet. They actually measure that. Up to yes. So what you can do, listen to this. You can take, aspirin. Let's just think of medicine, okay? The holistic, let's just say aspirin. Aspirin water. Now you take the aspirin away. Now I can make 100 aspirin waters. Nobody has to take the pill. You don't have to buy 100 aspirin pills. You can just make the water take the information. But that I still have to prove with the copper because I'm doing the actual test. So far, it is copper water in copper water. So you take copper water, take it into a regular, it's still copper water.
The right
Oh wait,
angle thing?
a what?
The right angle thing? How do you water at a right angle?
Well, the actual plumbing in our ground, there's a lot of angles. So it destructures the water. Even though our plumbing is copper and it's good for it, because it's got all these angles, it stops it. So swirling it, or I actually, like, my dogs have a fountain, the running fountain. I'm actually gonna get one for myself. I'm gonna drink from a dog fountain, and I also put shungite and crystals in there. So now I'm infusing crystals and shungite in a fountain, living water, for like $20. I mean, really, that's a $20 fountain, but it's moving. So
how long does it stay?
How long does it stay structured?
Mm-hmm.
They found that if you keep it in a cobalt blue glass or an amber glass, those old amber glasses, I think it's 30 days, unless you expose it to the sun, and then it restructures it. So you can take, cobalt glass, you take just regular water and put it out in the sun. I think it's 14 hours, it structures it. It's now cobalt water. It's really good for you. It's really good for plants. But if you're gonna do that and then keep it, you're gonna wanna keep it not in the dark, but just away from the light. And store it in a cobalt glass or an amber glass.
You're saying put it in the cobalt, put it outside, then bring it in and
Yes.
keep it out of the sun.
And you can keep it for a month structured.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
With your structured water, when you put it over your head, typically about how long would you leave it there?
I do that. I do that with my intentions. I say thank you. I leave it there for no more than maybe 20 seconds. I mean, how long do they do it from water to wine? It doesn't take that long. There's a 5-second rule. I've always wondered, why is it 5-second rule? When you drop something, it's 5-second rule, but there's a reason for those. So I would just do 10 seconds. Now, Dr. Pollack found that 7 minutes is the minimum for memory for your water to remember the frequency. So you've got to listen for at least 7 minutes, or it's not prolonged effects.
We also thank you for information that the cells have 90% water content.
You're welcome.
The reason is because I've always believed that in doing energy, intuitive work, healing, that if you change the information in the cell, it changes how it responds in the body. But I didn't realize that it was the water that was carrying the frequency within the cell.
Yes, the water it's the hard drive, and it's going into each of the cells, and each of the cells is like its own, it's not like the nucleus is the brain. The cell is smart. So it's like the entire cell is able to process it. Yes.
How far away does the water, so if the copper's sitting right here and the water's sitting right here, so if the word love is sitting right here, how far away do you think it has to be from the water to?
That I have not done. So when Veda Austin and the other experiments, they actually put the water up to the glass, like it's actually touching. So my water glass says love and gratitude on all sides, and it's got the pattern. I haven't tested that, but if I tell you I love you, I'm over here and I'm affecting your water, and I'm 10 feet away. So maybe it's quantum. That's we gotta test that. That's a really good one. But yeah, this is all the, like I said, I stare at water and I talk to plants. Yes.
I don't think it's on.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever on.
No, it's on.
Oh, what do you mean?
It's on.
Well, oh, there we go, I think,
Yes.
Okay, these are actually just two comments. So I have one of the flask of water bottles I bought from Dr. Tom Cowan's site. That definitely does structure the water. I've noticed that if the water, that structure sits near my Wi-Fi router, then it gets unstructured. So actually, I try to keep the router off most of the time. The other thing is, it's this structuring of water by these substances is the way that homeopathic remedies work. And the reason that the greater the dilution, the stronger it is that the material which produces the negative, disease, poisonous effect, the actual matter itself is removed. So all that's left is the structure, the signature.
Yes.
So that's why the greater the dilution, the more potent it is.
Yes, which means we can take one holistic remedy and make 100 bottles.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing. So come to my talk on Monday.
All right.
Because sorry, I didn't mean. So my talk is about zodiac. So for every zodiac, you have 3 minerals that's missing because there's 12 months, and you were probably in your womb for 9. So you're missing 3 essential tissue salts, and that is what I produce. But I didn't want to. It's $300 for a tablets. So then I'm like, how am I going to get this out there? I don't want to give everyone tablets. So we're going to program the water with 1 tablet, 300. In fact, you are going to do it by being trained. So yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
What time are you on tomorrow?
On Monday, I believe it's 2 o'clock, and it's called the Zodiac Salts of Salvation. Yes.
That's the whole premise behind holy water, is that 1 drop of holy water will make the whole bowl holy, and that's the same way when you go to Pachamama or something, and you get the holy water that's been blessed, by.
And it's just 1 drop, right?
Yeah, and you can put it, and you keep reusing it, just keep adding to
Mhm.
your base.
In fact, there's something out there. It's called the water wand, and it's
Yes.
a quartz wand
And a lemma wall.
and a lemma
I have one.
and a lemon wand, and they work. And how does it work? So you got magic water inside a vial,
Yes.
but that water is changing the water in your glass that it's not touching. It's just what we're talking about. So how does it work? You swirl it, right? Because you're putting the frequencies in there. That's exactly what you're doing. Imagine if you could make kidney water 100 times, because they've had kidney water, they've had liver water. It's a composition of minerals. So that's where I'm taking it.
Do you have another comment?
The way the flask of water bottle works is, you probably know that glass is basically an extremely viscous liquid. So the company that makes the glass in Slovenia, when the glass is still liquid, then it's exposed to these whatever frequencies they use, and then so those frequencies are imprinted in the glass. Dr. Tom Cowan adds a cork sleeve that says "Thank you" in his signature chest
Yes.
urine, which enhances the effect.
Yes, my glasses have love and gratitude and hexagonal pattern on the glass. Yes. So the computer speaker is better, and here's why. So every speaker, what it does is that there's magnets that's actually moving that creates the vibration. that's what you hear that creates the sound. So it's creating a magnetic field. It's changing the magnetic field. And in 2012, Dr. Pollack did a study. They proved that low-level magnetic fields restructures water. So low-level meaning your phone. It's better to use speakers. Like I use JBL speakers. I have my own speakers I'm producing, some foot pads. Just a few other ways. I've got the frequency speaker. But if you're using your phone, which that's the intent, my tech is mobile phone. I would recommend getting speakers. So either speakers or headphones. Yes.
Question, when you mentioned the magnets, can the magnetic field itself, without the sound necessarily, have that same effect?
Yes. I have 2 giant magnets at the end of my faucets because that's what eliminates metals. The fields, think about it. We have hard metal. Get some neodymium magnets, stick them all on there. It collects the metals. So all these hard metal softener things, literally magnets. So I guess I didn't really answer your question.
The reason in the healing side, I use a little magnet, 1 cubic inch, and it has a 100-pound pull.
Yes.
And when I do it with somebody, I can feel the information. I had one man with dementia lift his hand up to the magnet, sitting down like this, because he was having an impact on him. So I'm just curious, from your experience with, I never thought of using the magnet as.
Oh yeah, I use magnets. I use magnets I'm building tone booths. Basically, we're gonna rebuild. It's like a phone booth, but it's gonna be tones, and it's not gonna be a rectangular. You'll still be Superman when you come out, but it's gonna be basically a capsule. It's gonna look like a giant pill, but it's super easy. It's actually inexpensive. It's inexpensive. It doesn't have to be that fancy. So really coming out with our med bed is a blow up sofa, because guess what? Now you're in something that vibrates to the sound, and you just have to add UV lights, green lights, or red, depending on what you're doing. So there's ways to incorporate this. So thank you so much. We're gonna be right outside. I've got my book and the water whirls, and we're done. Thank you.
She said she was having anxiety attacks.
Well, I haven't actually used my spooky tube because I use my Cymatics. But why? What was the question?
Beats or Cymatics. You know what she listened to? The cataract.
Yes. If you walk right out this, here, let me go ahead and